Welcome to The Real with Joseph Labman. I am Joseph Labman. Thank you for tuning in this episode of The Real. Taking time out of your day to come watch this episode. I really appreciate that. If you haven't subscribed already, please subscribe for me. I'd really appreciate that as well. That's the best way you can support this channel and help me grow my content and grow this channel to where I'd like it to be. Everybody hit the like button for me on the way in on this video today. That also helps promote this video more in the algorithms, helps grow this channel more as well. Please share this content. I would really appreciate that. My guests would as well. If you would please share this episode with someone you know that maybe is interested in the topic we're talking about today. Please leave a comment below as well. We'd love to hear your guys' feedback. You can interact with myself and the guest on the panel and the live chat as well. Whatever we're talking about, just leave a comment there in the live chat. Pop in and say hello. We'll put it on the screen for you. And yeah, without further ado, let's get to the show. Welcome back to The Real with Joseph Labman. I am Joseph Labman. Hope you guys are having a great Monday night. Welcome into The Real. If you're new here, please like, subscribe, and share. Shout out to all the new subscribers like always. And you want to give a special shout out to my boy Eben, the Toe Goat. Met him at the game Friday night. We've been talking for a while behind the scenes. Finally got to meet each other in person at the game Friday night. You saw them on social media and on YouTube. So shout out to him. Obviously big YouTuber and a lot of success, and he's killing it over there at his channel and amazing content. So he'll be on the show soon. So looking forward to that. But yeah, other than that, Saturday was great. Watched the Buckeyes dominate Illinois, and then became Sunday. And like every Sunday this year, it's just been absolute. Outside of the Packers game, just been really depressing. And the Browns have been a depressing franchise and team for a long time now, especially the last couple years, especially. Last year was really rough. You come off that Flacco year when they make the playoffs, and they had ever since that disappointing playoff flop, and then last season was an absolute flop and a failure, and this year is an absolute flop and failure. I mean, there's no turnaround this season, really. The season's over with, obviously, which we all expected. Not we expected them to be a playoff team, the Browns, but for it to be this bad, I'm not surprised, but also seeing it in real time, though, still just kind of like amazes you. So I'm going to get into it tonight. Yeah, the analytical scheme, the analytic scheme. Yep. If you watch the show for a while now, I brought this up many, many times, the analytic scheme. And, I'm going to get into it why I'm saying this tonight, because I've been saying this on this show for a while. So the Browns, obviously, yesterday we all saw, and we weren't able to go live last night. We normally do after the game because we had some stuff going on, and we felt tonight was better anyways for everybody. So, and I kind of wanted to give it a time. I need a little more time to really gather my thoughts on tonight's show. What I really wanted to react after that game yesterday. Again, I picked them to lose that game yesterday, like a lot of us. I wasn't surprised by the result by any means, but some of the stuff yesterday really, to me, just reemphasized and solidified everything I've been saying about this regime and why the Browns really are so bad. It's because their culture and their foundation and how they view football, how they go about the game is flawed. And that's why I say it's the analytic scheme. And it starts at the top with Mr. DePodesta over there, who came here in 2012 and from Jump Street, had a lot of influence in the franchise. Whenever they talked about, remember him and Sashi Brown sitting up there talking about draft strategy, and after every draft, like this picture right here I got, it was after the 2022 draft. So people say, oh, he's the boogeyman, he's not really involved, it's conspiracy and blah blah blah. Yet after every draft, he's up there. The night they took Jed Wills in the COVID draft, he was the one that went up there first and talked about how much they loved the pick. After they selected Corey Coleman, he said they got the guy they wanted all along, and they were thrilled in that draft. That was the 16 draft. And going back to the Jed Wills draft, Stump Mitchell, who was on the coaching staff at that time, came out of his show recently, started the Stump Talk podcast, and Rowe saw him Friday night. But Stump came out and said that Bill Callahan, the great Bill Callahan, had Tristan Wirfs as the number one tackle on his board, yet they chose to go with Jed Wills. And so when I watched that game yesterday, it's not just wasn't surprised they lost by any means. How they lost was, again, just to me, solidified what I already thought, what was going on in that organization, why they stink, and why they are where they are. Yesterday, the Browns only put up a whopping 9 points, 3 field goals, couldn't even score a single touchdown. And the biggest stat, which you probably have heard all day today since last night, 52 passing attempts with 5'10" Dylan Gabriel, a left-handed, smaller, undersized quarterback. 52 passing attempts, 58 dropbacks, and the stats for the game for both teams, team stats, the Browns threw the ball 52 times for 182 yards and 3.2 yards a carry, or 3.2 yards pass completion, per attempt. They ran the ball only 17 times for 65 yards, 3.8 yards an attempt. And the Steelers only threw the ball 30 times and ran the ball 28 times for 100 yards and 3.6 yards per attempt running the ball. And then throwing the ball, they had over 7.8 yards per attempt, 235 yards. So almost pretty balanced attack for the Steelers. The Browns, on the other hand, we're just going to abandon the run like usual and 52 throw the ball 52 times around the lot with, you know, our rookie quarterback who's undersized on the road in Pittsburgh with bad tackle play. Keep putting them back in pass protection, 52, 58 times. That's a good idea with the tackles we have and the older O line we have in the interior, with Joel and those guys. And so, the receivers that can't catch a ball all year, that's a good idea. Let's just drop back 58 times. That's a winning formula because the analytics said so. And going back to Paul DePodesta, this guy, ever since he's been in the building, in 2012, or no, 2016, not 2012, excuse me, I misspoke earlier. Ever since he's been there in 2016, Haslam's about the team in 2012. But ever since he's been there in 2016, he over time he's gained more and more power. And the day they fired John Dorsey in 2016 or in 2019, excuse me, and hired these two guys on the next to him, to the left of him, Andrew Berry and Kevin Stefanski, that became the day where he really took over full power for this organization. And, it starts here. You think, why did they all of a sudden in 2021, or, after 2020, they ran the ball so well with Kareem Hunt and Nick Chubb, and they were one of the most dominant running team in the league that year, made the playoffs, should have won the divisional game with Mahomes got hurt in that game, had a great year, had Baker looked really good that year, was very efficient, everything looked like it was going well. How come coming after those two seasons, they just decided to get rid of Baker Mayfield and to give everything away for Deshaun Watson, who hadn't played in a year and a half at that point. And also they changed their whole philosophy, and it's showed. Why are they throwing the ball so much? Well, it goes back to this. This was from Tony Grossi back in, was it 2022, I believe. And it says, Paul DePodesta is pretty much convinced owner Jimmy Haslam that the only way to build a Super Bowl team is by consistently throwing for explosive plays in the passing game, apparently no matter the weather conditions. Stefanski and offensive coordinator Alex Van Pelt will insist that their system is rooted in the running game, but that is only true to the extent that that the Browns desire an effective running game, essentially to set up a play-action passing game. Eventually, they want to use those play-action passes to be more frequently laden with deep shots downfield, and this is where Deshaun Watson comes in. The bottom line is Stefanski's job is safe because he completely is adhering to DePodesta's advanced statistics, or you can call them analytics, models, and not resisting them. Disagreeing with or rejecting DePodesta's research would be Stefanski's quickest ticket out of town. He is smart enough to know that. And also around that time, Jonathan Jones of CBS Sports came out and said that, that 2022, that team owner Jimmy Haslam is a University of Tennessee alumnus who has closely watched the air raid offense of the Volunteers, have instilled the great success in the SEC, and became fascinated with it. And you can see there, it says, beginning of that, there could be there's some tweaks into the offensive philosophy as well. And this is the same franchise who has a strategy meeting with the owner and whoever else, probably deep every Friday. They have a strategy meeting the Friday before a game on Sunday, which is crazy. You're finding out the strategy on Friday when really all your install for the game and stuff is during practice during the week, Wednesday to Friday. Tuesday, Monday, usually you're making corrections, going over film. Really, actually Tuesday, a lot of teams start actually preparing for the game. You already kind of have an idea what your strategy is going to be in your game plan. But the Browns do the opposite. We're going to wait till Friday so we can ask Big Paul and Jimmy Haslam what they think. And so maybe even JW's in that meeting too. And last year, this last year was written by Michael Lombardi before he went and took the job in North Carolina with his boy Bill. But Michael Lombardi, remember the Washington game last year with Deshaun Watson when he looked absolutely horrible? And this was written after that game. And it says, quote, as the owners of the Cleveland Browns, the Haslam family is fully invested in winning. They're willing to spend money. In fact, they have one of the highest cash outlays of any team ever over the last few years. The problem with their style of ownership is that they want to win it their way. They are invested in the analytics, which is rather hilarious as the numbers support benching Watson weeks ago. The analytics have told them to would have told them to re-sign Flacco, who improved their offense. If you support analytics, promote your analytics department, and have a president of the team, Paul DeModesta, who only worked in baseball before and lives and breathes analytics, then how do you justify the support for Watson? It's clear that they only want to use the numbers when they support their position, and that position falls in line with a sunk cost fallacy. And again, this was written last year after Deshaun Watson's game where he looked terrible, right, against the Washington Commanders last year, Commanders last year. But notice what it says there, president of the team, Paul DeModesta. And, this is pretty well known throughout people who cover the Browns, follow them closely. They know the guy who's really been calling the shots behind the scenes. So when you hear people say that he's really not that involved, he's just a cap guy, just that, well, how come he's up there on the podium after every draft? How come he's sitting next to Andrew Berry this whole draft? This past draft, he's sitting up there next to him. Every pick, he's up there. This guy is heavily involved with everything. And so all these reports have been written nationally and locally for the last X amount of years now, talking about the strategy and change and stuff. It's real. And so going back to the game yesterday, not only did you throw the ball 52 times with your rookie quarterback, but first and goal at the 3-yard line. And they threw the ball 3 straight times. And I hear people say, well, they weren't running the ball well, so I understand why they did that. Really? Because they only needed 3 yards. So if you look by the numbers, at that point in the game, Quinshon Judkins was averaging 3 yards a carry. Jerome Ford had 1 carry for 12 yards. So if the math ain't mathing, the odds are if you would have gave the ball to Quinshon Judkins right there at the goal line and if you block well and actually execute properly and call the right play, you should have scored a touchdown right there on the 3-yard line. But you want to throw the ball 3 straight times with an undersized quarterback in the red zone. And it was so bad. I mean, this is one of the worst plays for quarterback and receiver I've ever seen. I mean, look at this. This is one of it just beams right in the side of the head. I mean, just absolutely just beams right in the side of the head. And this play right here really sums up the Browns internally, all the way around. Their philosophy. It's an absolute. I mean, look at that. Drops back. Just bam, right in the side of the head. I mean, that really sums up the Browns. A disaster, a joke, a clown show, and people that really don't know what they're doing. And so, again, first and goal at the 3-yard line. How come they abandoned the run? Well, because the philosophy is the air raid attack. They believe the game plan and the strategy is we got to go out and throw the ball a lot because that's the only way you can win in the NFL. And again, this was actually proven behind the scenes by a coach who was on the staff back then. That's right. Stump Mitchell said this on his show a couple weeks ago about why do they abandon the run so early? How come they, it's funny, Pittsburgh yesterday, they ran the ball 28 times. They only ran for 3.6 yards. They actually had less by 0.2 decimals, but still they ran the ball less than we did, but yet they still kicked our ass because they actually they stuck to the run. It's funny, the Browns threw the ball 52 times yesterday, but they only averaged 3.2 yards a pass per pass completion. They actually averaged 3.8 yards per run. So the math says you should have ran the ball more yesterday. But no, we got to pass because we think it's the best way to win. It's the air raid attack, and the analytics say so. And you don't believe me? Listen to Coach, who was actually in the building, but what does he know?
To open up the pass game, vice versa, or a hybrid? Can you speak to that?
No, Kevin ran the ball more his first year than he ever did. And I think that was simply because he was coming from Minnesota, where he had a head coach that was a defensive guy that really told him they needed to run the ball. So he was kind of, in my opinion, still hearing his voice, even though he was the head coach of the Browns. After that, it was tough to the following years. It was tough to be consistent running the football. Didn't do it a whole heck of a lot. there was times where we went in at halftime and Nick only had 6, maybe 8 carries at the most, and probably ended the game with maybe 16, 18 carries. Nick never averaged 20 carries a season during his time there with Kevin.
It's so fascinating. Like what would change that if you're having success, right? Running the ball. What are the things that would cause a coach to do a 180?
He just analytics for one thing. Analytics during my time when I was there, I haven't been there for 2 years. Said if you didn't average 6 yards a carry, then there was no need in running the ball, which is totally bullcrap because it only takes 10 yards to get a first down. And if you average 6 yards on 2 carries, that's 12 yards. But if you average 4 yards on 3 carries, that's 12 yards. That's a first down as well. So it makes no sense.
Yeah.
And there you go. The man said it right there. Analytics. What made Kevin Stefanski, or really made the whole offensive philosophy go to complete 180 since 2020? Analytics. And you saw where it goes back to. Goes back to this report. And whether you like Tony Grossi or not, I know a lot of people don't. Some people, it is what it. But here, I'm not giving. I think Tony's fine, but gotta give him credit. He nailed that report when this came out. I think this was almost 3-4 years ago now. It's right on the money. And you just had a coach who was in the building that stamped it. That's true. And then you see what happened nationally when it came out. We wanted to do the air raid attack. You heard from the great Michael Lombardi, who knows a lot about what goes on behind the scenes. When he wrote his article last year, the president of the team, Paul DiPodesta, he's part of everything. He's part of the strategy. He's the leader of the analytics scheme. And so, going back to my whole point with this today, when I watched that game yesterday, the way how they operated offensively, throwing the ball 52 times, 58 dropbacks, not running the ball at all on first and goal at the 3, just to hell with that. We're going to throw it every time, abandon the run. And then you see where they are. They're a crap team. I mean, they're the worst team in the NFL. And right now, because I don't know any franchise in sports that is this bad, because none of them have this bad of a foundation with their philosophy of their team, how they approach player development, scouting players, buying, selecting players, building out a team. One thing about this draft class this year, and I know a lot of people have been applauding it. A lot of the players are really good, but if you really look at it, they didn't take a single offensive lineman. They didn't take a single receiver in this past draft. They took 2 running backs and 2 quarterbacks. So, they might have nailed some picks, but overall, their strategy for the draft and actually helping out the team and building out a team correctly still wasn't good. And so the whole thing's flawed. They're never going to win with this analytical scheme. And they come out today and flaunt this stadium in our face. And this is, it's funny today, they come out and put this right in our face, a big historic $100 million agreement for our stadium in 2029, 4 years from now. And, we already seen what the ticket prices are going to be. They're going to be absolutely outrageous and absolute. I mean, a lot of people are not going to be able to go to those games. But, I know the season's shit. We're 1-5. And, you hear some of the people in the media, the apologists, well, they don't want to win this year. It's all about the draft. And, how dare you question their intelligence? I mean, they're smarter than all of us. They're figuring out football. Like Michael Lombardi said, they're trying to solve football a different way than everybody else ever has in the history of the game. Don't challenge them. Don't question it. Just keep looking at that stadium. That's all we really care about is 2029. And, the next 4 years, we'll just take your money and just, thanks, because you fans come back every week or go buy apparel and tune in every Sunday and give out your whole fall for it, and we know we have a bunch of suckers at hand. So that's all it is. And that's all it is. It's an analytic scheme. It's all a hustle. And really, I mean, I got to give Paulie Podesta a lot of credit. I mean, he sold Jimmy Haslam a bag of goods when he came here in 2016. My gosh, did he find some suckers. And it kind of fits along with what the Haslams have always tried to do something out of the ordinary. And they've always tried to buy success. And you can't do that. You can't buy success. You can't just plug and play people. And you have to know how to build a team and chemistry and everything properly. And when they hired Paulie Podesta back in 2016, the great Steve Young went on air in New York that day and was asked about it. on a local radio in New York, YES network, right? And here's what the great Hall of Famer Steve Young, what does he know? Here's what he said that day when they hired him.
That we're talking about the Browns outside the box thinking and hiring Paul DePodesta. And I don't know if you know Paul, but he's very, very bright. He's obviously been in baseball for 20 years. His first love is football. And I think that if you're a really bright person, you're going to succeed in things that you do. I don't think it's a bad hire. What's your take?
It's so funny. It's so incestual, the leagues, like baseball is, and the NFL, and that's why we see coaches that have shown success keep coming back. You know what I mean? Because there's just not very many that people really believe in, and so it's just you find yourselves retreading things because I think a lot of teams don't think outside the box. They're not willing to make take the big chance. But I don't think it's that hard. I think really smart. Guys that have managed before, that understand the basics, get a lot. Like to me, I'm fine with that as long as you have some great football people around him that can say to him, "Here's the ones that we want. Here's the guys that we don't want. And then he can now start to put the team together. The problem is there's no way he can know himself because you have to have a long-term history. You can't make money as an adult without playing as a kid. I mean, I know I'm wrong on Akeem Olajuwon. I said that a few weeks ago and said, well, what about Akeem Olajuwon? I was like, well, if you're 7 feet and you're really athletic, I think you probably could. But other than that, and so to me, being in another, sport is a risk. But as long as the football guys, the things he's good at, he's going to be good at with the Browns. The things he's been good at before, he'll be good at again, except for don't tell me that he's now going to understand how to pick the football guy, to know which guy can play. Now, personalities in the locker room, I think locker rooms are similar. Baseball needs leadership. Football needs leadership. Understanding those dynamics of getting guys in the locker room that matter, I think that can translate. I could pick a baseball player who could be great in the locker room. I'd be around him. I know that guy. So that part works. But the football part, don't tell me you're going to go pick football players. That doesn't make it.
And I don't know how much you follow the analytics of other sports, but I think one of the reasons why it doesn't seem to really translate to football is for the reasons that you said. The emotions, the leadership, the policing the locker room. It just seems like baseball. I can plug in. I need a guy with a better on-base percentage. We'll get this guy. I need a guy with a better earn run average. I'll get this guy. Is that why football maybe isn't as stat-driven as the other sports are?
Well, there's not much, very much so. In fact, the ultimate challenge is to try to figure out the algorithms for quarterbacks, like who can actually play the sport, who can actually be good at this, and it goes on. That's the hardest one, but there's no easy ones. There's no right tackle that comes out of Clemson that's going to be the can't miss guy that you really know. You're not really sure. Where baseball has the farm system, and you really have a sense of who's and the analytics really do prove out. Like this guy can't hit left-handed pitching, but he can pull the ball. Like there's all kinds of things that actually fit. Football, it really is. It's an unnatural sport. Like nobody plays it because it's like, oh yeah, I can't wait to put on the pads and go ram somebody. You have to have there's a purpose, and it comes out of the locker room. And who do you play for, and why? And how am I incented week to week, day to day, to go to work and actually ram other people because of I believe in the Giants, or I believe in Tom Coughlin, I believe in the Mariners, or I believe in my teammates. And so it's all those things. At baseball, it is a more plug and play. Like a guy's, great pitcher in Toronto, he's a great pitcher in Texas. There's some challenges there in the locker room. That's why some of the great teams that figure that out are. But I agree with you, Don. It is completely different in how you put teams together. You can't just plug and play.
And so you heard what he said a lot there, but that was the day they hired Paul DePodesta. Again, that was on the radio there in New York. But everything he said there came true. And we look back at this 9 years later, and you look at the locker room, right? You look at the teams constructed. You saw Myles Garrett. We're going to get to that down the road. You see Myles Garrett, what he said yesterday. You saw what Jerry Jeudy said earlier in the week when they traded Joe Flacco. And making those moves in the middle of the week like that later, and trading your starting corner, the Wednesday night for the game in the middle of the week. I mean, and you saw what Jim Short said. You could tell he wasn't very happy about his press conference the next day. Like he said, the ultimate challenge is understanding the guys, the emotions in the locker room, the leadership, how to build certain personalities together. There's a lot more to football than just numbers and picking players and all. You have to understand the culture and chemistry and who fits who. And this is our foundation. This is who we are. We're going to be a running first team. We have to have these kind of players. We have to have this kind of coach. We have this kind of accountability, development, right? guys that understand football through and through. We don't have that in Cleveland. We have a bunch of guys that are trying to rewrite football through a calculator and a computer, and all he did was he didn't surround himself with football guys, because with the football guys here, Adam and John Dorsey and guys like that, they all got ran out of Cleveland eventually. This guy's outlasted all of them. Every coach, player, GM since 2016, he's outlasted them all. And so, if you remember what Charles Robinson of CBS Sports said back in 92 through the Fan in 2020, the only reason why they hired Andrew Berry over George Payton, who's now the GM of the Broncos team, who looks pretty good, and building them back up with Sean Payton. The only reason why Andrew Berry got the job over George Payton was because Andrew Berry liked him more, or because Paulie Podesta liked him more ultimately, and that's what it came down to. He liked Kevin Stefanski a lot because they're Ivy League guys. They all think alike. They all come from similar backgrounds, but they're all a bunch of yes men, and it's all goes along with the analytic scheme. And again, it's like the last part Steve Young said there, you can't just plug and play guys. Well, the Browns are just trying to plug and play guys right now. Making trades like that in the middle of the week, not understanding how you can't just throw a Tyson Campbell out there on Sunday, but you're trying to plug and play. You're trying to buy talent. When Deshaun Watson told you, the Browns, Jason Lloyd said this today on the North Cleveland Sports, the Browns are the only franchise where the two guys they're paying the most, Deshaun Watson and Myles Garrett, both told them what they thought about them before they gave them the money. And so Deshaun Watson that week told them, I don't want to go to Cleveland, I'm out. Myles Garrett last year in January said, I want out of Cleveland. This is what I think of it. But all that Jimmy did was, let me add a couple more zeros to that check. And make it to the point where, okay, we can't resist that kind of money because that's like generational wealth. And so, again, trying to buy talent, trying to buy players. They tried to buy a quarterback. And then when the quarterback they tried to buy didn't do well because clearly they didn't do a good enough job in their background, and when their interviews and seeing this guy like Steve Young, is this guy actually ready enough, confident enough to play football after sitting out for 18 months at that time, I think, or almost a year and a half of that. Yeah. At that time when he was out, after he stopped playing in Houston. No, we'll just try to buy him and just plug him out there and we'll hope he's the same guy. And that just doesn't work like that. But again, they don't have an idea of what they're doing. They don't have a grasp for what they're doing. They don't know how to build a football team properly. And until Jimmy Haslam somehow cleans house and gets all these guys out of here, because they all three have to go. They're all together. They're all linked together. They're all one big piece together. They all have to go. And so until the Browns do that, until Jimmy Haslam finally says, okay, these guys all have to go, it's never going to change. It's going to be the same results every year. They're never going to build a franchise that's ever going to get over the hump. The farthest they'll ever go is to the playoff, a wild card game, and they'll get absolutely smoked in that game. But I don't think they're even close to even that ever again, anytime soon. And so it's a mess. It's a disaster. They're the worst franchise in all sports. And really, it all because they're on a bad foundation. Their philosophy, everything. Kevin Stefanski, not a great head coach. He comes out yesterday and says they had a long list of things they need to do. A long list. And that list, I can't even fit the list on the screen. It's that long. And so they got a long list of stuff they need to fix, he said. And they just got to get better. Just got to get better. He came out there today on his press conference and, Kevin, typical,
About, first and goal on the 3 there late. He didn't touch the ball. Is there any reason for that?
No, we need to be better. Whether we throw it or pass it there in those situations, we have to be better.
Just have to be better. You didn't hand the ball off to your rookie running back who's been a star this year because just have to be better. What he should have said was, I adhere to the analytics. We weren't running for more than 6 yards a carry, so I had to abandon it. I couldn't run. I had to throw every play, or else my ass is getting fired. And that's it. That's all I should have said. Just tell the truth. Just tell the truth. And shout out to Jay Crawford today on the Oakland Sports Show for actually calling this stuff out. I'm glad to see some people out there that actually aren't afraid to call it out or realize it, So that's good to see. That's good to see, But, a lot of people in the chat tonight. I saw my man Tunes in here. Wally's in the chat. Who else we got? Raul's in the chat. Thanks you all. Stacy's here. Thanks all you guys for tuning in tonight. Dino Paul said the Browns front office are a big problem. Cleveland media is horrible mixed to the sauce. I feel bad for the players. I wish Shador could ask for a release. Some team will invite him to a camp. I think a lot of these players would really like to get out of here right now if they could, honestly. But yeah, so I don't mean for the long-winded, opening tonight, but I had a lot to break down because it's a lot going on right now with the Browns. I mean, but it all boils back to me one thing, and it's the analytics scheme. They have to clean house. If they have to clean house, they're never going to win with this regime. It's never going to work. They have to the philosophy, everything. Clean house, wipe it clean, start all over. Get some people in there who know what they're doing. And so joining me tonight, waiting patiently, I apologize for keeping you guys waiting in the back, but the man, the myth, the professional fan, Sir Michael Antonis. Mike.
Hello.
Join us tonight, also, Mike, straight out of Detroit, Chris Gerganis.
Tough week for Detroit fans.
Yeah, yeah, for sure. And also join us tonight. I'm sure he's got a rant he's just waiting to unload on. Jersey's in the house. Jersey, what's happening?
You know me.
All righty. But gentlemen, appreciate you for staying patient. Sorry for I didn't mean to go that long, but it's a lot I had to break down there. Browns are that big of a mess. But Mike, you go first, but we'll go around the horn, and then you guys go after Mike. What was your reaction to my opening monologue there? I guess we can call it, and just the Browns agenda right now, the game yesterday, everything.
Yeah, I mean, it was very disappointing. Play calling was not good at all. Offensive line looks lost. A lot of procedural penalties again. You can tell the guys are frustrated, especially like you had the smallest of one of the better drives of the game going, and then Jerry Jeudy does some dumb stuff, gets that personal foul penalty, gets pushed back. Very undisciplined, and that's been a reoccurring problem. And just anemic offense. And it's a shame, in here, the defense probably let off the throttle by the end of the game. I don't blame them for doing that at this point. But yeah, no, I'm kind of to the point where I think it probably would be in the Browns' best decision to move off of Stefanski. The past about the past 3 weeks of play calling's just been downright bad. Zero creativity. If you look at the throwing chart for Dylan Gabriel, there was nothing above 15 yards. So you can't win football games like that. I'm not saying to go to this air raid thing that Jimmy Haslam wants, the Tennessee Vols or anything like that, but you need to at least keep the defense honest, and you need to be able to take the top off when you can, and if the opportunity arises. I think it was Jake Burns pointed this out, is dudes are getting open. It's just when they're open, they're not even being considered. It's the check down or the stick route or the little 8-yard out route that is going to be thrown before anything. And I think that's a schematic thing. I don't think Dylan's just missing him. I think it's perfectly scheme. I think that's what he's being asked to do, which, at this point, it's just time. I understand the offensive personnel is aged out. I understand our receivers aren't great, but I mean, at this point, the Cleveland Browns coaching job would be pretty attractive. You have 2 first-round picks. You have a great rookie running back. You have a bunch of great young players. The defense is stout. You'll probably, I don't know if you'll have a market for a Wyatt, but you can trade Njoku for more picks. But, the biggest hurdle that a coach is going to have to do if they come in is they're going to have to rebuild the entire offensive line. I mean, the entire offensive line. Jack Conklin's gone after this season. DeJuan Jones, while I think he could maybe still have a role. He's been hurt every year since he's been drafted, and it's a shame because I think he's a great talent. But Joel's going to retire. Wyatt's on the last year of his deal. Ethan's on the last year of his deal. So basically, you have to rebuild the entire offensive line while also picking a wide receiver or two. So yeah, the offense is going to be a little bit of a work in progress for whoever comes in. But yeah, no, I think people on the panel in the past and watching the show thinks I was this like Kevin's. I mean, I don't hate Kevin Stefanski, and I'm never going to call for someone's job. However, I can call a spade, and 3 weeks of anemic offense, bad play calling, bad procedural penalties, and just the players don't have any buy-in anymore. I can, see the writing on the wall. Like, and I think with ownership too, like I understand that and I think we all understand that the expectations, like you said, Joseph, were very low for this season. No one thought we were going to be world beaters. We gained that extra first round pick for next year to continue to build everything up. But that doesn't mean that we can just suck all around. Like we have to see something, just something of note, something positive. I mean, here the Jets are winless, and they've at least put up over 20 points. I mean, the Tennessee just fired their head coach. They put over 20 points. Now, you just can't be an offensive head coach and have this kind of run. Like it is unfortunately time, and I feel bad because I do like Kevin. That all being said, I don't know if he gets fired mid-season. I think they'll wait till the end of the season to fire him. And that's mostly because optics for the next guy. You don't want to fire somebody mid-season like that. It could put a bad taste in potential coaching candidates' mouths. That's not a me opinion. That's an opinion from a bunch of league sources saying that coaching candidates just don't like that. So I think he gets fired at the end of the year. Potential head coaching candidates, in my opinion, I like Joe Brady. I like Clint Kubiak. I know they're talking that Minter is getting thrown around, but I don't know if I'm there yet with him. And then maybe some collegiate guys can be interviewed. But yeah, I mean, that's where I'm at.
Yeah, I like Brian Flores too. I think his name.
Oh, Flores. Sorry, that was the name I forgot to throw out. Yeah, Flores.
Yeah, but like you said about the receivers too. I heard a stat today. Last year they were one of the worst teams in creating separation consistently, and this year, same stat I heard today. So receiver room is not that great. They can't create separation consistently. They're slow. They don't run routes cleanly. That's not really a speed thing on time. How many times I broke down film this year, Mike? I'm the film breakdown. And their guys are falling down out of the routes, getting shut, getting bullied on the. It's even back in the preseason they were falling. They're just sloppy all around. They don't create consistent separation. They don't catch the ball when it comes to them. They're just everything this team does offensively is just bad. But Gerg, you go ahead, bud.
Yeah, just another Sunday of like Mike said, you look for improvement somewhere. You look for something to build on, and there just isn't that. There just isn't anything. It's just bad football. Again, you don't expect to win. You don't expect to come in there and, I don't think anyone expected the Cleveland Browns to go into Pittsburgh yesterday and win. But I think everyone probably expected them on first and goal at the 3-yard line to run it at least once. Just that kind of stuff. It just the penalties. It's just and then you got Myles Garrett.
We'll get to that in a minute.
Yeah, after the game, they're all defeated. They're defeated, and it's 6 weeks in. I don't know if they can make it another 11 games doing this same thing. I get the no one wants to be fired during this season. I do agree that candidates don't like that, but I don't know how you continue to see the same thing for 11 weeks. I mean,
Yeah, it's a tough tightrope for sure.
Yeah, I think that the city of Cleveland would burn down if they have another 11 weeks of this.
Could you? I mean, I don't. We'll get to it at the end, but Jersey, I'll hand it off to you now because I mean, I know Mike McDaniels is coming here next week, and a guy that we've said that probably should be coaching the NFL either. But Jersey, he can literally walk in here next week, and all he has to do is score 20 points. I mean, they scored 27 yesterday. That's not. I mean, this guy is going to walk in here next week with that team and probably beat the Browns.
It's the hot seat bowl.
If Kevin,
Oh boy,
Kevin Stefanski, first of all, it does no good to fire Stefanski if you don't get rid of D. Podesta. All right, if D. Podesta's there and you bring in another coach, you're going to get the same result. It starts with that ass White. So, Barry, I don't know, kind of on the defensive with him. But Stefanski definitely needs to go. He just shouldn't have ever been a coach. It's already been proven he should not have been a coach. He just doesn't have the temperament. He doesn't have. He's just too passive. Sure, he's a great guy, nice guy, good family man, but he's just not an NFL coach. He just doesn't have that edge.
Alpha. Yeah.
He's not. He's certainly not an alpha. So he's a yes man. He's afraid to go against the grain, and his players don't respect him because football players for the most part, they're all alphas. You know what I mean? So they can sense weaklings. So all the players are uninspired. Hell, Kevin Stefanski's even uninspired. So if they let this go on the rest of the year, if they fire Stefanski at the end of the year, Jimmy Haslam, my gosh, if he does this to his players and then the fans, I mean, that could be, I can't imagine that. I cannot imagine this goes on another 11 games.
Yeah, but Jersey, they got the stadium announcement today. Look at it.
Who cares? I'm never going at this point. I'm never going. I don't care if somehow, some way I'm worth $100 million by then. If I won the damn Mega Millions, I'm not going. You couldn't pay me to go to it. You couldn't pay me to go to a game. I'm not doing it. Why the hell why would anybody go? You know what I mean? I mean, I can go get better football right up the street at Ross Park with Cuyahoga Falls Youth. I mean, I can get better quality football, better run offense, watching a bunch of 7-year-olds on C team. I can get a better offense. I can. You know what I mean? By some coaches who just play Madden, draw up some plays. I mean, and draw the hell. I'm gonna go even beyond that. Draw the plays in the dirt like we used to. It's a better run offense. I can get that there. You know what I mean? So why the hell would I go up there?
They probably scored 20 points.
God knows what the hell they're going to charge for tickets. Why? Why would anybody? I mean, I can get good football somewhere else. I can go watch a great high school game every Friday. That's what we do. I can watch Ohio State Buckeyes. I can watch teams I even dislike and get better football. So it's crazy. It's crazy. It's went on this long. I mean, because what's happening now is what's happening last year and the year before. Well, 2 years ago, okay, they got hot, with Flacco. But I mean, you're such a joke now that you have head coaches calling you out after games, calling out your GM. You know what I mean? That's insane. That's how little respect the Cleveland Browns have. And it's not the players. It's not the players. I don't blame any of the players. I don't blame one. not one of them. You know what I mean? And I didn't watch any of the highlights. I said I don't even want to see them. All I needed to see.
Well,
We
saw
were at
this
lunch.
play, your favorite play right here.
Yeah,
this sums it all up right here.
I've never ever seen that. Joseph showed me that today. We were out to lunch. I almost fell out of the booth on the ground. It was so I've never seen, and I blame Isaiah Bonds for that. I mean, but that just shows you the lack of coaching, the lack of awareness, dude. We're at the 5-yard line. You're on a crossing route at the in front of the end zone. You better be looking at the quarterback.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But still, you got a guy you got a rookie in there that's, I don't know, 5'9" maybe, throwing the ball 52 times. 52 times.
58 dropbacks.
52 times. We may as well have had a guy blindfolded throwing the ball because he can't see over the offensive line. I mean, and that's not like that's not a knock on him. He's too damn short. So, and then what they run the ball 15, 16 times?
17 times for 3.8 yards an attempt. They threw the ball 52 times for 3.2 yards an average of throw. But that doesn't make it's why I say it's the analytic scheme. Remember what Stump said? Well, if it ain't more than 6 yards an attempt, abandon the run. But you're running the ball for almost 4 yards an attempt, but you were only throwing the ball for 3 yards an attempt. So the math wasn't math, and they really should have ran the ball more.
What'd you draft running backs for?
Right. You'd wasted a pick on, well, I don't want to say waste, but you drafted the extra running back when you maybe could have took an offensive lineman, and then you took 2 quarterbacks, but, we only could play one of them. And, yeah. But Pittsburgh ran the ball 28 times and only threw it 30 times. Pretty balanced. And
right.
They ran the ball for 100 yards and scored 23 points.
He was sacked 6 times. I saw the defense. I did look at the stat line last night. This shows you how the defense has just had enough. We had no sacks. I mean, we had Myles Garrett did jack shit yesterday. I'm not here. I don't care. As good as he is, the player has to be coached. They have to be inspired. They got to be. I mean, I'm sure they get coached on that side, but man, you got to get tired of having to be on the field nonstop because the people running your offense are absolute idiots. It don't even seem like you're watching a professional football team when you watch the Browns. It's almost like it's not even real.
Excuse me.
I've never seen something like this, and it just keeps going on. I mean,
it's getting worse. Like, that's the crazy part. It's getting worse.
Jimmy Haslam. I mean, how is he not out just firing everybody all the way down? What do you got to lose?
Right. It can't get. What do you think of people that say, "Well, if you fire Kevin, then what are you going to do?" Kevin will get a job tomorrow. I'm thinking, well, the guy was in the same organization for 16 years. He didn't get hired until he said, "Yes, I'll be a yes man for this guy." Can it get any worse than what you have? So yeah, you probably could find somebody else.
Yeah, I think the optics of it, if you did fire him mid-season, Jim Schwartz probably becomes your interim head coach because he's done it before. Tommy Reese will become, the play caller, and then go from there. I mean, there's a long list of names, some coordinators that I think would make a good head coach. You brought up Brian Flores. He's high on that list too. I think and here, I really don't like saying this because I don't like calling for people's jobs, but if we lose on Sunday, you have to do it. You have to. That's unacceptable. You're playing against a team. The only team that I think is more uninspired right now than the Cleveland Browns is the Miami Dolphins.
I don't think so.
I mean, just the way the players talk. I'm just saying uninspired in general.
Like they're both bad situations. They're both poorly coached teams. So,
but when you have Tua Tagovailoa coming out on I don't know if you guys saw this, but he came out on a post-game presser and said, we got players showing up late. We got players being late to players only meetings, not showing up, like just like ragging on it, the whole team in front of the country, maybe they're equally bad for different reasons, but if we lose Sunday, that's got to be it. And I really think
if they do lose Sunday though and they don't fire him, what are you going to think? Because that's a dangerous game.
I'm gonna think, and here this is my personal opinion. If something doesn't change at the bare minimum, and I still think we should part ways with Stefanski now. But the bare minimum is if like we lose on Sunday and Stefanski isn't like, if the plan isn't to fire him, if he's not like, I'm giving up play calling, like I got to get this fixed. That's the bare minimum. But like, if we lose on Sunday and nothing happens, I think, is my opinion, that the Cleveland Browns should be under investigation by the NFL for tanking purposefully.
I think it's already happened though, because he should have gave it up today if that was the case. I mean, they asked him today at the press conference, and he said, "I'm still going to call plays."
Yeah, I saw that.
I mean, It should happen already now.
I agree.
You're 11 straight games where you can't score more than 20 points. It should happen. It should have happened last night. As soon as they got on the plane.
It's a joke.
I mean, I get what you're saying, but I my whole thing, Mike, I think they should be investigated now.
Oh, I told you, it's the biggest criminal organization in sports. I mean, and I say that, I'm not saying they're legit criminals, but what they are doing to the fans and to their players is just a criminal act. I mean, every hot dog they sell is over. I mean, you're robbing someone. I mean, they're not.
But here's the thing, though. What are they tanking for?
There's no quarterback right now. That's the guy.
Right.
What are they tanking for? I don't
know.
Jeremiah Smith's not till next year.
You
gotta have somebody throw the ball to him, though.
I know.
You can't pick two quarterbacks in your top 5 rounds and then purposely tank for a quarterback in the first round next year. Like it none of it makes sense. Like it just we all thought they were going to be bad. I didn't think they were going to be this bad. I just didn't.
You know what this reminds me of? I saw an episode, an old reality TV show on MTV, and the guy went. It was a joke show, Robin Big. Remember they went to the guy's house, Jersey, and Rob thought he could teleport, and he had that guy. They had that guy in the middle of a project apartment in the middle of Canada who said, "I can make you teleport anywhere." So they actually went out and tried it, and Big Black's sitting there, and he's like, he knew this was all crap. But the guy, after it failed, he sat there and did a little thing, and Rob's still sitting there. He didn't teleport away. They walked out. They showed the guy sitting in the apartment. He just looked like just focused, like this is gonna work one day. Like I know it does. And I feel like that's what the Browns have running their team, is a guy who's trying to rewrite football, and he just thinks it's gonna work. I know it's gonna work, even though you made the worst trade in NFL history. You don't know how to build a team properly in football. All the stuff Steve Young pointed out the day they hired him has come true, and it's like they're still sitting there thinking, "No, it's gonna work. It was all Deshaun's fault." This year we have to tank because the cap. It's just the cap. We need better players. But it's like you don't know how to pick the right players. You don't know how to build a roster. You don't know how to develop a quarterback. When I hear people sit up on the shows on Mondays saying they don't have a quarterback, you need they're never going to have one because they can't develop one. You still have to develop it. No matter how talented a guy is, you still have to develop him. Trevor Lawrence was as talented as anybody ever. Andrew Luck, but guess what? They couldn't support him and keep him upright. And Trevor Lawrence, he seems like he's starting to get it back this year, but he had a kind of an up and down start to his career. Wasn't what people thought he could be, because a lot of it was bad structure around him, in my opinion. And so you have to know how to develop those guys. It doesn't matter. You could pick the greatest, most talented quarterback ever. It's not going to change anything.
100%. Yeah, if you got it, you got to start it at the top. Paul needs to go. Andrew Berry. I mean, you can't get him off the hook, like you said. It's. I mean, why are the Browns so thin at O line? I mean,
Right.
you have
they have,
you have to have
they have
some kind of
nobody on.
depth.
They have no O lineman under contract for next season.
I mean, it's just so there's just so many things that you can look at, but I mean,
And that Jerry Jeudy contract ain't looking that good either.
I don't. One thing's for sure, though. I don't know. I think that I wouldn't hire a coach if they weren't a coach before. If they're not a head coach, I wouldn't have them as a coach of this team, of the Browns. Not that I don't think that there's good candidates out there that haven't been a coach. I mean, I think Kubiak is going to be a coach and a good one. You're going to have to be, you have to have gone through it already to be a coach of this team, in my opinion, because you're just going into a bad culture. So you have to be the one to try to change it. And you aren't going to go in trying to change everything up as a first time head coach. You're just not going to do it.
No, you're right. You gotta have a guy that's been a coach, but not only that, for this division and this city, it takes a certain type of coach. Like I saw someone you put up so we chatted in earlier, somebody's comment that said they saw Bill supposedly Bill Cowher's looking at
that was
houses
the
in
old. No, that
Strongsville.
was that. I knew you could. No, that was an old made up rumor.
Oh, I was gonna say, that's the kind of guy you need.
Remember back in was it early in the 2000s? Everybody said Bill Cowher was spotted in Strongsville.
Yeah.
And that was like
I know.
rumor. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm so saying that's the kind of guy you need. I mean, ironically, he started in Cleveland. You know what I mean? But you got to have a guy that, especially with how it's been here, you got to have somebody that's got a lot of sack and they ain't afraid of shit.
Well, it's like remember when Ohio State went through all that stuff in 2011. And who did they bring in? Urban Meyer.
Well, that's what I'm saying. You got to have somebody that's proven.
I wouldn't be surprised if it's Saban.
Yeah, I don't know, man. He tried the NFL. He did terrible, but I mean, it's obviously a different era, but I don't know.
I mean, that was Colin Cowherd's report for the season.
He's certainly an alpha, but and he's from he started here. I don't know. I'll take anybody truly with what we got. I mean, I would. I'm not joking you. I'd take anybody.
Honestly, if they did hire Saban, all the assistants would stay. Most of them, at least.
Well, Mike, I was going to ask you, and I talked about this on the phone today. Tommy Reese was his guy in Alabama. He called plays for him already. Jim Schwartz is his guy. We know that. What's your thoughts on Nick Saban? It would be probably a CEO type of role, obviously, which is kind of what we all think we need.
Yeah, maybe. I mean, here, going off of what Jersey said, I mean, he wasn't great in the NFL. It was a completely different era. And, I mean, it's not like the Dolphins were horrible when he was the coach of them. They just weren't as successful as that regime wanted at the time. But, I mean, here, if you're going to go a collegiate route, I don't think there's any better choice. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like, I don't know how many other guys out of college I would consider outside of Nick Saban. And, I mean, the pieces wouldn't
they'll
have
probably
to...
hire James Franklin.
No, stop. But
pause.
Yeah, no, I mean, here it would make sense. Like you said. I mean, Tommy Reese was his last protege. Called plays for him. He likes Tommy. I think Tommy Reese could be a little bit more unleashed with his whatever offense he truly wants to run. And then Jim Schwartz. I mean, that's his dude. Like you said. I mean, they have so much history here in the city too that I think both assistants would stay. I actually think as far as most of our supporting coaches, I like most of them outside of Chad O'Shea. If we fire Kevin Stefanski. Chad O'Shea can go, and Bubba Ventrone. They both can go.
I got to make a
But-
suggestion too. Whoever we hire, I may say, hey, would you seriously consider? He's back on the market now after today. Bill Callahan, bringing him back.
Yeah, I would love that if he doesn't retire. Like, I don't know if this is kind of the straw that broke the camel's back, but like, you know,
And I don't think Coach Bloomgren's bad at all, but I just think Coach
No.
Bloomgren has been kind of. I think he inherited a terrible situation, and he's trying to
and you
fix
can
it.
find a different like role for Callahan too. You can hire him on as like a senior offensive consultant.
Get him
or
back as the run game coordinator.
run game coordinator.
I mean,
you
that
know,
running
yeah.
game was cooking with you when he was here.
Yeah, you can keep both. Like, there's no reason to fire Bloomgren. Like, you can give Callahan a different title. Like, that's no issue. But,
Yeah.
yeah, I mean, Saban makes sense to me. I mean, he was certainly a culture setter. If that's, you know, that is an option. I mean, I think he's one of the better options. I know people has stated John Gruden. I don't hate that idea. I just honestly think the NFL will never let him coach again.
I think I heard somebody say recently that I don't mean to cut you off to add to that. They don't think I think John Gruden thinks he'll never be back in the NFL again. So
Yeah. And I don't think I don't think that's like the Cleveland Browns wouldn't hire John Gruden. I just think the NFL is never going to allow him to coach again. Like that.
I don't know, and that's what they. I don't know if he ever even wants to come back.
Yeah.
I think he's having a lot of fun what he's doing out at Barstool, and he's actually doing a great job with it. So
he's doing a great job. I love his
He's
little
content
segment.
with what he's got. I mean, he's here. He won a Super Bowl. He gets right off in the sunset. He's still John Gruden the other day. So go ahead, Jersey. What were you gonna say?
Here, I mean, would I take John Gruden over what we have now? Yeah, but that wouldn't be my first pick. I think Gruden's just too much of a. I don't know. I mean, I think he
Personality.
won, but he's just too much of a personality. He won with Dungy's team. I mean, yeah, he was coaching that team, but Dungy had built that team, and so I'm not. If that would be my first choice, and so Saban. You know, sitting here listening to it, you know, Saban, when he was at LSU, it didn't go the way he wanted. He ended up going to Dolphins. It ended up going the way he wanted. I think Saban became Saban in Alabama, obviously. And here, even at 70-something years old, if he had all of those guys, Saban's that guy now to where this dude could probably pretty much get anybody to coach for him, to work for him, and he's obviously pretty damn good at building coaching staff. So I think I'd probably be excited about it. I love Saban. I love his he don't take no shit, and so it's just 70-something years old. Does he really want to do that? But then I'm like, okay. If he's got the right staff, and it's like you said, he's just running like a CEO. Can he? You know, is he able to still do it at that age?
Pete Carroll can.
Oh yeah. Well, Pete Carroll that guy just doesn't look like he ages at all. But yeah, Pete Carroll's doing it. And that's another one of those guys from that tree. It's amazing how many of these guys are still out there coaching. But I just lost my train of thought. I was going to say something else, but none of it. Yeah, but. Here, that's the other thing. Is Saban's here, then you know D. Podesta's gone. So,
yeah, you think? yeah, that's
you know what I mean.
You might as well just start. Well, he's not even in the building. He's in San Diego. They might as well just not even bother calling back if Saban comes in, because Saban's not listening to him by any means.
No, hell no. He'd
be like, you know, you could be a drink.
You know, right? Go mow my grass, punk. But yeah, sometimes I was sitting there thinking, like, I wonder if just, you know, D. Podesta's contract's up after this year. Stefanski's his guy. Is Haslam just letting it run its course? He's not going to fire. He's not going to fire D. Podesta before the end of his contract. So he's just going to let these guys shit the bed together for another
Mike, do you
11
think
games.
that could be the scenario? Because, you know, Haslam's biggest thing was people have always accused him, Mike, in the past of, you know, jumping the gun too early and constantly cleaning house and moving off of stuff. You know, this is the first time he's kind of ridden it out with a regime, Mike. But I think that's I heard people say this. I know you've heard it. We all heard it, that, you know, maybe that's the case. You know, if you want to hire a draft pick, you keep letting.
Oh, Jane
Hold on.
Daniels got hit right in the side of the knee.
All right, hold on. If you want a higher draft pick, you keep this regime in. I guess keep it the way it is because they're going to keep losing, or ride it out so that people can't say you jumped the gun, but you had to fire him.
I mean, yeah, it's probably a little bit of both, honestly. I mean, if you're going to get rid of him, I mean, hey, we got a stout defense. We got some good young offensive pieces here and there. Yeah, the offensive line's going to need work, but here, Mr. Coaching Candidate, we have the number 1 or number 2 overall pick plus another first, plus we traded away this player and this player, and we have an extra 3 and a 4, like big draft to do what you want. Like, I tried to give these guys time. It's probably a little bit of both because, I mean, have them to say that, I mean, these guys have massive egos, right? They're billionaires. So I have no doubt that it's a little bit of both, if I had to guess.
Well, the other thing you think about too is Haslam, what did he get ridiculed for early on? Changing out coaches too soon. You know what I mean?
Yes.
So
it's been 5 years, though. I'll give Haslam the benefit of the doubt if he does it this time around.
No, I would say he let it run its course. It's overdue. So nobody can say that to him now. But if I'm Jimmy Haslam, why do I care? Like, who's going to punish him? You know what I mean?
Right.
Like you said earlier, it's bad optics. Why does Jimmy Haslam care about any optics? You know what I mean? Like, is the league going to fire him? He don't give a shit. He is the boss. You know what I mean? So
and again, like you said, if you want to get asses in these seats when it's built, you better get rolling now.
Yeah, you better start winning some fucking games and at least have a competitive offense on the field. I mean, this shit's garbage. I mean, no one's going to that shit. I mean, that'd be terrible. These assholes finally built a dome in Cleveland. You know what I mean? We can go to games in the cold air and not freeze our asses off. I wouldn't even go there for a concert. If Jimmy Haslam owns that son of a bitch and he don't have a solid football team, I'm not going to anything at that. You know what I mean? I won't.
With those ticket prices, you know what you're going to hear?
Yeah, I mean, it's just
you're going to hear.
Absolutely. What just talk about shitting on the fans.
Well, somebody else who didn't care. Shout out to Tori. He said, "Get Rex Ryan. Yeah, go get a gosh darn snack."
Right.
I love that. That is one of my favorite clips ever.
He said, Christian said, "I can't believe all the almost interceptions." Yeah, there was a lot of those yesterday. 1 Shador, 2 Gabriel, 3 Zappy. Real quick, Mike, should they make that change now for Shador? Or should they wait till if they're going to make a coach change or handoff? I would wait till they do a coach change or handoff.
I think they'll give.
I think it's better for Shador.
Yeah, I think they might give Gabriel like a game or 2 more. I don't think they're gonna pull him after 2 starts. I mean, they're gonna give him 1 or 2 more games. But like, Tori actually brought up a good thing. Like, another thing Jake Burns brought up was like all of the throws. I mean, there were a lot of interception-worthy plays, or like high-risk throws, whatever you want to call the stat.
He hit Njoku in the side of the head too on him, right up the seam.
Yeah, so
triple coverage.
Yeah, there were a ton of those. So like, if he does that again, it could be one of those things where it's like, all right, kid, like, sorry, man.
That hospital balls.
Yeah, and those aren't great. I mean, but yeah, I think they'll give him 1 or 2 more games. I mean, here's the thing: if they fire Kevin, if we lose on Sunday and like, let's say they fire Kevin, I mean, they have to start Shador. How the hell else are they gonna like?
I don't want Shador out there in this offense. I don't want any rookie quarterback out there in this offense. This is terrible.
I'm just meaning from like a business standpoint. You know what I mean? Yeah. Like, I just fired my head coach. How do I keep interest in my team alive for, at that point, 10 more games, 10 whole more games?
Yeah, and you're right. But here's my thing, and we said this all along. Shador has a bigger upside, right? We all agree to that?
Oh, of course.
Gabriel, he has the bigger NFL upside. Okay. I don't want that guy because I don't like any of these quarterbacks a lot right now coming out in the draft. There's no like for sure guy. There's no guy I would tank for right now, honestly. So Shador's been sitting all year. He's been getting developed. He's been sitting back watching, which I don't think it's a bad thing. I think it's actually a service for him not to be out there in this trash. But I don't want that guy out there until there's better stability out in that offense around him, starting on the sideline. But he might be the only chance we have of finding a franchise quarterback because, again, Mike, I don't know anybody in this draft right now that I would tank for. Nobody's separated themselves for. But, again, I got to be really careful with Shador. He's my only rookie. He's my last option I got for a guy that I know is a rookie and that I haven't played yet, and he could be something. So I got to be really calculated in how I'd go about it with him.
Right. And, man, if he just – that's my only hope for this season at this point is, like, if that kid comes out, starts, and just looks amazing, like, you know how much better we'll feel about this season as a shit show it's been if we end up having to fire our head coach and, like, you know, just anemic offense and Shador just comes out there and looks good. Like, imagine how much better we'll feel
going
into next
overcome
year.
it. I mean, I know they said he played with a bad O-line in Colorado, which he did, but these are different athletes than he played in Colorado. These are NFL athletes. They're like, it's a little faster. But that's my whole point is, though, like I was saying, don't put him out there just because you want to save interest in the season for business reasons.
Right.
Put him out there because you believe he has a chance to be your franchise quarterback.
Right. No, I agree with that.
Because the other guys in his locker room, and we're going to get to one of them now, Myles Garrett, they'll pick up on that shit. So let's see. Here we go. Myles Garrett had some interesting comments yesterday after the game, fellas, that, you know, made headlines today. You know, Myles talked about how guys, no matter if you're young or old, need to be ready to go and get out there and play. Then he went on to, you know, hey, Myles, what do you think when you see TJ Watt and those guys on the other side, you know, out there having fun and winning games?
Mistake. When you watch their pass rushers able to get after it because they have a 2 or 3 score lead, what goes through your head? Must be nice.
Must be nice.
Must be nice.
Must be nice.
Must
and then
be nice.
Must be nice. Hey, Myles, you getting tired of this shit?
Came with every single day.
We're going to take 2 more.
Bill Thomas, I remember throughout all those many losing years, talked about just how hard it was to continuously fire himself up over and over and over again. Do you find yourself getting to that point where you have to dig even a little deeper to try to find within yourself to keep going as hard as ever?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Jeez
Must be
Louise.
nice. And yeah.
It is horrible. That's just like painful to hear that.
Your reaction
That
to it. Go ahead.
That is absolutely painful to hear a player say that.
Your face of your franchise player.
Right.
Your true blue Hall of Fame player. Like,
Hey, Jersey, what do you think of people that are calling out Myles' leadership today?
They're fucking idiots. I would love for any of them to come on here and I'll debate them. I would ask them what they would do. What would they do? Just because Myles is a professional athlete and is making $40 million a year doesn't mean he don't have the right to want to be put in their best position and to win. No matter what you're doing in life, whether it's playing sports or anything, whatever you're trying to win. You know what I mean? It's winning. Here, when a surgeon goes in and replaces a heart, they won. You know what I mean? They won together with that patient. That's a win. You're not going in to fail at anything. So anyone who says that his leadership is questionable is an absolute idiot. I mean, you should be questioning these coaches. You should not question any of these players. The fact that these players are still showing up, I don't even know if I'd show up. I think I just say I'm not doing this shit. I'm not risking my body. I'm not practicing anymore to you guys get us some real coaching. It's so bad. It's not that the Browns are just a bad team right now. This don't even seem realistic. It's so bad. It seems like it's sabotage. I keep saying that. So anyone who's saying that, again, come on here. I'll talk to you. And I mean, here, someone's got to speak up. There's no leadership on the fucking team. At least he has he is doing it, and he's doing it
Well, no,
quietly.
and that it doesn't matter if he signed the contract, you know what he signed up for, but he shouldn't have to go out and carry their water and do their job.
No, that's not his fucking job.
It's not his
And
job.
should he?
His job's not to go out there and save you because you don't know a damn thing about what you're doing.
Listen, I'm not gonna. If I'm Myles Garrett, I'm not gonna lie when somebody asks me a question. It's just like there's been times in my career where I'm not happy with people I work for, and people ask me, I tell them the damn truth. I'm not gonna cover for somebody that I think is doing a terrible job. I'm not doing it. I'm not doing that. I'll give them all the credit in the world when they're doing a good job, but when they're doing a shit job, and I mean the Browns have been doing it for years now, I'm not covering for them anymore. Especially when I'm the one going out, I'm working in practice along with my teammates. I'm going out there putting my body at risk. I'm speaking up. You know what I mean? It's not like he started that press conference and just went on this rant. Someone asked him a question, and he answered it as diplomatic as possible, but truthful. You know what I mean? And I'm sure he'd rather not do that. But at some point, when does the player speak up? You know what I mean? When do they speak up? This is so bad what's going on. I mean, it's thank gosh he did. I wish more guys would. I can't believe more guys aren't.
Well, it's like you hit the nail on the head earlier. They don't respect these guys. Mike Tomlin don't respect these guys. And we're going to get to his comments here in a second after Mike goes. But they don't respect these guys because they know their whole thing is flawed. It's the analytics. It's a joke.
You know what Mike Tomlin's doing?
It's a bunch of people trying to rewrite football. They don't respect these guys. So, of course, they're going to come out. But to come out and say, people to come out today and say, well, Myles, you signed him, and, Myles' leadership is bad and all this and that. You need to be like, you've never been in a locker room, dude, or whoever you are. People today saying it, you don't know what you're talking about. You sound like the people that Steve Young was calling out earlier.
Here, leaders just don't like to lead their own team. Leaders hate people who mislead the other team. You know what I mean? There's just a part of you, when you're a coach or you lead people for a living, it's painful to see your peers being misled. So I got to think like somebody like Tomlin or even other coaches, or hell, even some of the players that you say Jalen Ramsey's pointing to Stefanski and pointing to Shador. I mean, they're sitting back probably like feeling terrible for our players. Like, I cannot believe this is what they're doing to these guys. I mean, it's so freaking bad. And the defense just has to keep going on the field. Offense just looks like, I mean, it's just absolute shit. So, and it's all terrible coaching. It's not players. People need to stop talking about the players. All these guys are professional football players. All of them have enough talent to be in this league, and if they're coached the right way and get lucky and not have bad injuries, they'll play a long time. You know what I mean? It's just most guys that fall out of the league, if it's not because of an injury, catastrophic injury, it's just terrible coaching to lose their confidence. It's just bad coaching. So, I mean, it's just painful to see, and it's just bad. I hear people don't know me. I'm a coach for a living. I manage, but I don't like to say manager. I coach people. And in my profession, I talk to other guys at other stores and I hear the things that are being said to them, and there's nobody there for them, nobody there to help them do their jobs. It just pisses me off. So these other coaches and even some of these players in the league have got to be looking at the Cleveland Browns front office and coaching, and it's just absolute, probably to the point where they're getting pissed off about it. That's probably why Tomlin said what he said yesterday. Just pissed.
We'll get to that in a minute.
Just zero
Mike?
respect.
Yeah. Mike, your reaction to Myles Garrett's comments. You there, Mike? I don't know. Maybe his phone died. Well, actually, here, we'll just get right to the Mike said be back in a second. We'll go ahead and play the Mike Tomlin thing since you already brought it up. We'll play it right here, and we'll get Mike's reaction to both. So here's Mike Tomlin yesterday ripping the Browns on the Joe Flacco trade.
To be honest, it was shocking to me. Andrew Berry must be a lot smarter than me or us, because it doesn't make sense to me to trade a quarterback that you think enough of to make your opening day starter to a division opponent that's hurting in that area. But that's just my personal feelings.
When the Bengals acquired him, knowing what you know about Zach and how he likes to run his offense, from Cincinnati's perspective, it makes sense for them.
It certainly made sense from Cincinnati's perspective.
That's incredible.
Oh, wow.
That's
I've never heard anything like that.
Listen to what he said.
Shocking to me. Andrew Berry must be a lot smarter than me or us.
Andrew Berry must be a lot smarter than me or us. And Mike Tomlin sees it. It's a bunch of people that think they know more about football because they have their calculators and their computers busted out, Jersey. It's the analytic scheme.
It's a psyop is what it is.
It is a psyop, and they have their people in the media that promote the psyop. We'll just leave it at that, but in the YouTube as well. But yeah, shots fired. But we want all the smoke too, right, Jersey? We you guys want to bring it? Hit the
hell yeah!
Please make our night, please. A lot of these guys, and I don't like to do this. I don't call out people, and I'm never going to call out people. But Jersey, we see a lot of these people on the internet, and YouTube, and certain ones, and people in the media. They like this shit. They like these guys because they identify with them. It makes them sound smart because they like to bust out the analytics and computer too, and act like they know football, and really they don't.
Yeah, they don't know jack shit about football. They never played football. They started playing some fantasy football. Or they just found some sort of build some kind of identity in their team, and wow, I really identify with these guys because they know as much as I do jack shit, and so that's why they love these guys so much, and that's why most of these people in the media, these people that get on TV and they talk, and they all say the same shit and they stick up for these clowns because they're paid by these guys. They don't want to lose their access to Berea, so they got to get out and they got to absolutely lie to the public about what they think. Because if they do think that, they need their head examined if they do believe the shit. But I got to believe that they don't. I mean, because it's just so horrific. There's no way they believe it. So, but they'll do what they'll continue on and spew the garbage just so they can have access. And they'll never question anything. And it just shows how terrible of journalists they are.
Or
They're
get
not really
algorithms promoted.
Yeah. I mean, at any cost. So, anybody that's still defending this shit has absolutely zero credibility. I mean, and should just go bury themselves in a fucking hole. I mean, they're just. It's a shame. That's not what you're supposed to do in any type of journalism. You're supposed to just report the facts. I know that's a lost art now, but my gosh, it'd be a breath of fresh air. I mean, it's people. That's what people want. You just want to hear the truth. And so, it's a shame. It's just a shame. And then they got paid algorithms to get their subs up and their views. And people are catching on to the bullshit. And I guess this psyop being ran out of Berea. Hopefully it gets blown apart and we get some actual football knowledge in here. I mean, we can literally take probably a staff from our local high school team and plug them in Berea tomorrow, and we get better results. I guarantee we would. I guarantee we would. This shit's so bad. I mean, these guys know nothing. They know absolutely nothing.
They know nothing.
Absolute nothing.
Jeffrey said Brian Callahan got fired today. Would you guys be interested? I bring his dad back. That's for sure. As the O-line coach. Conservative Denker. Love the show, fellas. Question: do you know anything about Gabe owners? No, I do not. Do you, Jersey?
No.
Thanks for tuning in, though. Yeah, but going back, first, never seen a coach take a shot at you. I've never seen, and it's fun. It's crazy how it all happened, Jersey. I mean, the same thing. You hear what Myles Garrett said. Must be nice. And yeah, I'm getting tired of this shit. But to hear a coach call out publicly, and Mike Tomlin's very calculated, and never is very savvy, very well respected. Obviously, great coach. Never had a losing season in Pittsburgh. I've never seen an organization basically call out another one like that ever.
Well,
But it just shows you how little respect they have for these people.
Oh, that's it.
So
And
if he has that little respect, the players clearly have that little respect by what they're saying. I mean, they asked Jerry Jeudy earlier in the week, Jersey, about, hey, what about all those reps in training camp that Kenny Pickett and Joe Flacco, none of them are here. And Jerry Jeudy was just kind of like, basically was kind of like, I don't know what the plan was.
He probably don't know. There's no coaching. You know what I mean? I mean, they're just showing up to get their paycheck. So, I mean, there's nobody leading these guys. So, I mean, he probably doesn't know. That's still mind-boggling to hear that. I've never heard something like that. But I mean, again, as a coach and a guy that's coached a long time, this guy just doesn't love his own players. He loves all players, and it's just probably painful to see him be on the other sideline watching this shit. He's probably just an absolute disbelief what's going on, and he just said, "You know what? I'm gonna take a shot at this GM." And what does he mean by it? Is he actually thinking, hey, it was stupid to trade Flacco because you believed in this guy enough 6 weeks ago to name him your starter? Or is he saying, why'd you make this guy your starter? Maybe it should have been Shador. I'm not saying, this isn't about like making this about Shador, but is that what he's saying? Like, why did you make this a guy a starter that you traded on week 6? You know what I mean? Maybe this guy maybe shouldn't have been your starter. So I don't know, but either way, being a press conference is just, and say it the way he did.
Yeah,
and to call out a name and say, well, maybe this guy's just smarter than I am. You know what I mean? So what an ass. It's just, it's so terrible.
Yeah, I agree. Again, here it is one more time.
To be honest, it was shocking to me. Andrew Berry must be a lot smarter than me or us, because it doesn't make sense to me to trade a quarterback that you think enough of to make your opening day starter to a division opponent that's hurting in that area. But that's just my personal feelings.
I mean, oh boy! Shout out to my coach growing up, John Potok. He said the Browns have 99 problems, but a bitch ain't one.
See you Friday, dude.
Yeah. 99 problems with a bitch.
John, you got to come on here, man. Give your opinion.
Yeah, that would be unbelievable. That would. That's a great comment. But yeah, I mean, my gosh, this is just. I was sitting there talking about the rundown for the show tonight. There was so much to unpack today. It's like I can't fit it all in one show. It's that bad. I mean, I could pull up 20 more clips tonight of things that people have said in the past couple days, or players last week leading up to that game. But I mean, I don't. We'll end with this because, Mike brought up something earlier, and it kind of goes back to the Steve Young thing I played at the beginning of the show. Yeah, you can keep Stefanski in there to maybe it'll improve your draft odds, getting better picks. But that's a dangerous game to play, to just keep riding this out like that. Because these guys in that locker room, it's like what Mike said earlier. Well, you have to be a little bit better. You have to have some improvement. But these guys want to go out and win. They want to go out and try to have the best chance to win every week. They want to have some hope and some positivity moving into the next season. You can't just go out there and chalk up a season like that. I mean, these guys, why'd you even have them train all off season? What's the point of going out there?
Right.
If you're
right.
That's not how you build a winning franchise, because guess what? That formula is never going to get you anywhere. And it's the
Well, how
same. And guess what? It's the same formula they used back in 2016. It was Operation Tank Mode, and they tanked for 2 years, went 0-17 and 1-15. Brought in John Dorsey, who built a pretty damn good core, was ready to take off, and they didn't know how to manage it. They blew it up, and look where they are now. And so now they're trying to do the whole thing all over again. Let's just tank. They have 10 draft picks next year. 10. So let's bring in 10 more rookies. Like, that's going to save us. We have no offensive lineman on a contract for next year. Let's bring in 10 rookies.
Well, it's certainly not how you build a winning culture. You should never foster losing. You know what I mean? The Steelers don't do that shit. And they struggle to get a quarterback because they're never high enough in the draft to get, a quarterback. So you just shouldn't do that. I mean, that's just
the Steelers don't do it.
That's what I'm saying. The Steelers don't do that. So, I mean, you should never say, hey, we're going to lose. You should always be going out there to be as competitive as possible in the win games. And whichever way it shakes out, it shakes out. You shouldn't have to tank. You know what I mean? You should still be able to build your team through free agency or drafting and still win. So if you go the opposite way and you condone losing, this is what you get. So it's never good to lose, ever. You should never be thinking that. The mindset should be always to win. And so it's pitiful that this is what they're doing to their players. And having 10 draft picks and trying to have all these first round picks sounds to me like they're trying to make that situation very appealing for another coach. So,
well, John says they have to keep him because nobody else wants to come here.
Well, maybe that's why they're trying to load up on picks. But I mean, it's I would think here. I mean, I think somebody will come here. You give them enough money, you give them enough leverage, control. It's obviously a great city. It's the greatest fan base. You're going to have a new stadium. There's a lot of reasons to come here, but I mean,
now,
Jimmy Haslam just has.
I think they're looking forward to 2029. They don't care, but again, that's 4 years. That's insane.
Well, I agree with Jeffrey, and I've told you that. That's Jimmy Haslam isn't even. I don't even think he's really worried about winning right now. This is what he's fixated on.
I know, but it's, like we said today, it's not going to matter in 2029 because you're going to have a shit product taken to that new stadium. Who's going to those games with those? I mean, who's going to pay with those prices? They'll pay that.
They'll bring in different coach and have all these picks and get the media hype out there, start selling it. Where we're going to be in 3 to 5 years, and people will buy into it. And as long as DPS is still there, I'm not going to be bought into it. So unless I see that shit changed out, that whole front office, because Haslam's not going anywhere, but after Haslam down, everything's gonna be get rid of that guy.
Cracking eggs. Remember, he's cracking eggs.
Yeah, cracking eggs.
And they're working real
hard. Cracking eggs. Sometimes you got to crack a few eggs. These are guys' careers or contracts. So yeah, sometimes you got to crack a few eggs. This is a guy that's probably, that's how he treats his players. Sometimes you got to crack a few eggs. Are you kidding me? This is how you think of your fucking players. Like
it's the plug and play mentality. It's the analytic scheme.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. And that's why they're fucking losers, because they think that way and they don't give a shit about their players. Because if they gave a shit about their players, they'd be putting them in the best position to win with the best staff available. And you just it's like that in anything. I don't care if it's football, a fucking grocery store, gas station, McDonald's, a dealership. You have to give a shit about your soldiers, your people. They got to be first and foremost, and they got to be put in the best position to win. And that's how you build a great culture, and then you win from your culture.
And you have to have cold Ronnie drinks.
Cold Ronnies. you have to do a job. You have to do a well enough job to where your people respect you enough that they bring you cold Ronnies and Bear Bells.
And Bear Bells.
Yeah.
And Liquid Deaths.
And Liquid Deaths.
DFJ, what's good, brother? So what's good, Joseph? He said late night cooking. You know how we do it, dude. Everybody go subscribe to DFJ Hoops. 76ers, Philadelphia 76ers NBA coverage over there. And NBA season's about to start up here pretty soon. The regular season, you better go subscribe to DFJ Hoops. Great content, great guy. And go show him support and love. And go subscribe to TuneIn Sports as well. Mike, before we get out of here, your reaction to Myles Garrett's comments and Mike Tomlin's comments.
So
we'll start
the
with
Mike Tomlin stuff.
Okay,
I'll start Mike Tomlin, right?
Okay.
The Mike Tomlin's comments today. It's like I saw a lot of people make a big hullabaloo. It's not as if Mike Tomlin has the Cleveland Browns' best interests at heart, right? So like I just trash talk between division opponents. Natural. I mean, it is weird that he's going after a coaching staff, or no, I'm sorry, he went after Andrew Berry directly.
Here, I got it right here. In case you didn't hear. One more time.
You know, to be honest, it was shocking to me. Andrew Berry must be a lot smarter than me or us, because it doesn't make sense to me to trade a quarterback that you think enough of to make your opening day starter to a division opponent that's hurting in that area. But that's just my personal feelings.
There you go.
Yeah, that's wild. I mean, here I'll give Andrew Berry the slightest bit of grace, because at the same time, like, yeah, I don't understand why they even started Flacco to begin with. I get like bridge quarterbacks start the rookies 5 weeks in. That was always the plan, but like, I get what he's saying. I mean, yeah, the coaching staff and the front office, their record precedes them, if you will. So like, the shot is well earned, but at the same token, it's like somebody offered you a pick for Joe Flacco, who you weren't going to retain after this season, and you need every pick you can possibly get right now. So I get both sides of that. Now, Miles's comments are a little bit more important, and I think they're a little bit more damning on the coaching staff, specifically Kevin. Because I don't think Miles has any bone to pick with Jim Schwartz. I think nobody has a bone to pick with Jim Schwartz. I think they actually really like Jim. But
that's the unit on the team for a couple of years now.
Yeah, but yeah, man, that's damning, especially a guy that, like, you know, tried to get traded and then decided to stay with the team. I mean, he could have, like, yeah, it's a lot of money, and it's generational wealth. Maybe it was just that, but like, here, he could have played this out. He could have threatened to sit. He could have done a bunch of stuff if he really wanted to get out of here. And he decided to stay. And like, here, I think though I saw those comments too, Joseph, that you were talking about before, of like people saying, "Oh, well, Miles, these are horrible comments by Miles. He's not being a leader." It's like, I mean, who else is what other player is gonna come out and say, "Hey, we have a problem with the coaching staff. I think it needs to be addressed." Like, do you expect Quinshon Judkins to do that, or rookie? Do you expect one of these rookie quarterbacks to do it? A Carson Schwessinger? Like, who do you expect to do this? Denzel Ward's the most soft-spoken player in the NFL. He's not going to say anything. I mean, I love Denzel.
The cachet Miles has,
huh?
Yeah, who has the cachet Miles has? You just paid him a generational contract. And by the way, the director of football operations for the Browns is his wife is a big executive of Clutch Sports. I mean, maybe that's what Miles trying to do here. Maybe he's trying to push his leverage around now, like thinking, you guys pay me this. You can't get rid of me. It's kind of an untradeable contract.
Yeah.
So I don't like what we're doing. Maybe that's what Miles thought all along. Maybe Miles said, if I get these guys to pay me that contract, eventually I'll flex my leverage, and they can't get rid of me. So
and I think he should. I mean, here, what quarterback?
Because they don't respect these guys in charge,
right?
I mean, don't even respect them. I mean, look,
right.
What have you?
I mean, think about it this way too.
Just did.
Right. I mean, think about it this way too. Like, what star franchise quarterback in the NFL doesn't flex their muscles every now and then? You think if Patrick Mahomes was upset with the coaching staff and he said something, the Chiefs ownership wouldn't do something about it? You think if, anybody else, just think of a star quarterback in the league, flexes muscles, the ownership wouldn't listen. Well, we don't have a star quarterback, but we do have a Myles Garrett. And, he is our franchise, the face of the franchise. He is arguably the best defensive player in football. And he's upset, rightfully so. I mean, I think Myles is a smart guy. He knew that this season wasn't going to be playoffs and Super Bowls and everything. He had to talk a big talk in the offseason, but he's a player. That's his job to do that too. But he's probably thinking the same thing I'm thinking. Damn, if we would just score, 24 points a game, we'd be friggin' undefeated. Nearly. We'd be 4-1. He needs to see something. We need to see something. This offense isn't getting it done. It's just completely anemic. I get the offensive line's old, but there are other teams dealing with horrible offensive lines. Bryce Young is put up what when they beat the Cowboys? How many points did they put up?
I think almost 30.
Over 30 points with
I know they won a field goal.
With a arguably worse offensive line, arguably worse running game, and 1-star receiver. Ted McMillan's fantastic. But my God, we can't put up over 20 points. You got Bryce Young and the Carolina Panthers putting up 30 against the Dallas Cowboys. Now their defense sucks, but still, even if we beat the Dolphins, if it's a 10-7 game or something like that, I'm still probably moving on from Stefanski that day. It's just I don't want our star players acting feeling like they should have to do this. I don't want our young, amazing young talent getting poisoned. You have a franchise running back that you drafted. You have a franchise linebacker that you drafted. You have a franchise defensive tackle who's top 10 right now in pass rush win rate as a defensive tackle his rookie year. I don't want that being ruined. I don't want any of that being ruined. You have a superstar tight end in the making. I don't want any of this being ruined or tainted or poisoned. You have a great young class. You have a bunch of picks next year. You have the pieces in place for a incoming coaching candidate to find the job attractive enough to take it to the point where you should have your pick of the litter in coaching candidates. But my God, this cannot be done. And here, I understand the coach speak, and I'm ranting a little bit. I'm sorry, but I understand the coach speak that Stefanski feels like he has to do. We have to be better. This, that, the other. But at a certain point, dude, just fucking tell me what's going on. At a certain point, we gotta be better. No shit. If I have -1 cars out, if I had somehow somebody return a car near the end of the month and it counted against me the next month, and halfway through the month, I'm just I gotta be better. That your dad would punch me in the stomach. I don't. Yeah, in the face. I'm sick of that, man. I understand the gleaming generalities thing, but you give me some tangible thing so I can feel just a little bit better about this, Kev. I've been your boy, Kev. I've lauded your praises for a long time. Everybody on this panel knows that. I was your friend when no one else was, Kev. And you brake checked me. I don't even know what we do. Chris left earlier and he brought up a goddamn good point where it was you can't, we have 11 games left, guys. We have 11 games left. I don't know if you can do this for 11 more games. The more I think about it, the more upset I get. I'm very passionate about my Cleveland Browns. Jersey's got, I go to the high school games with Jersey and Joseph. I have a great time, but I'm not a particular, I have no loyalty to either of those teams. You know what I mean? I like college football, I like watching it for the prospects, but I have no loyalty really to these teams. There's only one team I have true loyalty for, and that's my Cleveland Browns. And this front office, this coaching staff has fucked it up. For even me, I am the homer's homer. I am my father, God rest his soul. Today it's 8 years since I lost him. He is forever entombed in a Cleveland Browns urn because that is how much that team meant to him and to us as a family. You might think that's a little silly. That's just how he was. When he wasn't wearing his work gear, he was wearing Cleveland Browns gear, and that means something to me too. This team means something to me on a deeper level than maybe it even should. And even me, I'm getting jaded. And that's a sad thing. That's a sad, sad thing. Sorry for the ring.
Yeah. I agree. He said, name 4 draft picks or roster moves that AB has made that have had a meaningful impact.
I mean, I can, but.
Then he said, y'all realize they played overseas last week, right? Travel's no joke. Well, they traveled last week. They didn't travel. Jersey, did that have anything to do with the game yesterday?
No. My God,
they traveled
no.
to fucking Pittsburgh.
Right.
It's a 2-hour car. We could be there in less than 2 hours in the car. What do you honestly respect the roster? I mean, I agree with you. The roster's trashed on offense. No doubt about it. He said, y'all might be the most delusional fan base ever. Name 4 draft picks. He said, haha, the flight back from Europe, you retards. Okay.
And you're banned.
Yeah, you can take your dumb ass somewhere else. Anyways.
Either way, I don't
get
give
that
fuck.
moron out of here.
Flights from China, it still wouldn't have any bearing on that game yesterday.
No. All right, get out of here, garbage. Anyways, gotta love the trolls, Mike. Gotta love the trolls.
Yeah.
Gotta love the trolls.
It's the internet. Everybody has access to a keyboard.
For sure.
Blessing and a curse.
But no, it has nothing to do with the traveling. I saw him in the chat the whole time. He was a Kevin defender. So that's all.
Oh, is he?
Oh yeah. He was saying, they could run the ball. That's why they threw 50 plus times. That's just best of luck. In all serious, but it's like we talk about. I don't know how you can
keep mowing Kevin's yard, asshole.
Yeah. Yeah. Just
Flag ban now. I can't hear you.
Have a good night. Appreciate you, Chantel. He said Amari Cooper, Jerry Judy last year, Carson Mason. I mean, yeah, you can name 4 guys this year: Judkins, Carson, Mason, Fannin. Yeah, I mean, those are good. And Amari Cooper was still actually a good move. He gave him good years. So,
and people forgot because he's injured. Cormo was a great pick.
Cormo, I like Delpit. Isaiah McGuire's looked good. Alex Wright. I mean, there are dudes.
I agree.
Well,
you guys got anything you want to add here in the end before we get out of here? Well, you got to tell me to like, subscribe, and share.
Beautiful people. Thank you so much for joining us this evening. If you haven't already, please like, subscribe, and share this content. It means a ton to us. Thank you to all the new subscribers and all the old subscribers that have stuck with us through the years. Hope you continue to stick around and continue to share this content. We hope to get to 1,000 subs here soon. We love you all very much, no matter what. Your support of the show is why we do the show. And you guys chatting in is why we love to do the show as well. So thank you for all who chatted in. Thank you for all who will comment on this video after you rewatch it. But yeah, if you could like, subscribe, and share, please and thank you.
Jersey?
What Mike said.
Yeah. Like, subscribe, show all the good stuff, and love all the real supporters and people out there. Again, we like people to disagree with us. We
just got to be respectful.
Yeah, keep it respectful and don't try to be the smartest person in the room all the time and take it to don't be disrespectful and all that. That's just trolling. You can go troll, go do something else in your life.
The trolls will be banned back to the bridge.
Yeah, trolling ain't cool. So
Banished.
go get a life.
Banished.
Do something else in life besides trolling.
Banish him.
Yep. We'll see you guys at next one. We're out of here. Mike, I'm still leading. What are you doing?
What am I doing right now? You want to know what I'm doing right now? I'm mixing essential oils to try and create a poultice for everlasting life.